Today, I'm going to show you the exact fruit to eat before bed for sharper eyes after 60, especially if you have been struggling with frustrating issues like blurry vision, eye strain, and tired, heavy eyes. Many older adults find themselves dealing with these sudden vision changes, unsure if it is just a normal part of aging or if there is a missing piece to their daily nutritional routine. You might be surprised to discover that common dietary advice often completely ignores how your specific evening habits directly affect your eye health and recovery overnight. Over my years of observation, I have learned exactly how making very simple, late-night nutritional choices can gently but effectively support your long-term visual comfort and clarity. I remember a man named Arthur who was 68 years old, and he was deeply concerned about his noticeable night vision decline and the constant dry, puffy under-eye bags he experienced every single morning. He was constantly rubbing his tired eyes, and unfortunately, your doctor might have been telling you incomplete or not fully helpful information about how to comfortably manage these exact same symptoms at home. Once we adjusted his evening routine to include a very specific vision-supporting food, his morning eye strain reduced significantly and his eyes finally felt rested rather than physically exhausted. Before we dive in, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and whether you've struggled with this eye problem before. I want to hear your experience. 1. Eat a small handful of blueberries 30 minutes before going to sleep. Consuming these specific, dark pigmented berries in the evening provides your delicate eye tissues with targeted, gentle antioxidants right when your body actively enters its deep physical recovery phase, gracefully supporting better night vision adaptation and overall visual clarity the very next day. I remember a lovely woman named Martha who was 72 years old, and she had completely stopped driving after dusk because the harsh glare from oncoming headlights made her feel overwhelmed, unsteady, and temporarily blinded for several seconds. She made the very common mistake of eating heavy, highly processed, salty snacks right before bed, which severely worsened her chronic dry eyes and exacerbated her nighttime glare issues. We gently corrected this habit and switched her late-night snack to a very simple, small bowl of fresh blueberries instead, which immediately provided her body with the right nighttime support. Within just a few short weeks of this consistent routine, she happily noticed her eyes felt much more physically comfortable in low-light situations. She stopped rubbing her tired eyes every morning, and her daily confidence vastly improved. The dark, rich pigment naturally found in blueberries contains specific supportive compounds that gently help maintain the microscopic blood vessels in your eyes, particularly within the sensitive retina where all visual light is actively processed and interpreted. Throughout the course of a normal day, your aging eyes are constantly bombarded by bright, glaring sunlight, harsh digital screens, and unnatural indoor lighting, which causes a subtle but highly continuous microscopic strain on your ocular muscles and tissues. When you finally go to sleep, your body actively works to repair this daily physical wear and tear, utilizing whatever nutrients you provided it just before resting. To make this simple dietary habit work effectively for you, simply wash about a quarter cup of fresh or carefully thawed frozen blueberries and place them in a small, accessible bowl in your kitchen. Slowly, eat this exact, modest portion about 30 minutes before you plan to turn off your bedroom lights and go to sleep. You absolutely do not need to eat a massive amount to see wonderful results, as a small handful is perfectly sufficient for your body to process. This simple evening habit helps support more comfortable, significantly steadier vision throughout your entire day. Here is another simple habit. 2. Snack on a small piece of cucumber or high-water fruit to buffer nighttime dryness. Adding a naturally moisture-rich food to your evening routine helps gracefully hydrate the delicate tissues around your eyes from the inside out, safely reducing the uncomfortable, dry, gritty feeling that many older adults routinely experience upon waking up. I remember a man named Robert, who was 65 years old, and he struggled terribly with a harsh, scratching sensation in his eyes every single morning, almost as if there was actual sand trapped beneath his heavy eyelids. He mistakenly thought that drinking a massive glass of plain water right before getting into bed was the best logical solution, but it only resulted in continuously interrupted sleep and unusually puffy, swollen under-eye bags. We corrected this frustrating cycle simply by having him quietly eat a few thick slices of fresh cucumber an hour before sleep instead of chugging heavy amounts of water. He quickly found that his eyes felt naturally and gently lubricated every morning, and his crucial sleep schedule remained completely uninterrupted. As we gracefully age, our bodies naturally begin to produce noticeably fewer tears, and the precious tears we do manage to make often evaporate much faster, especially during the long, uninterrupted stretch of the night when our eyelids are closed but our tear ducts are quietly resting. Eating a highly water-dense food like a fresh cucumber provides a beautifully slow, highly steady release of gentle hydration into your body's complex system, which your tear glands can actually utilize far more effectively than a sudden, heavy flood of plain drinking water. This deeply gradual hydration actively supports the fragile, thin tear film that is absolutely required to protect the sensitive surface of your eye from indoor air and ceiling fans. Preparing this is incredibly easy and takes only 1 minute of your quiet evening time before bed. Simply cut 3 or 4 thick slices of a fresh, cool cucumber and eat them slowly about an hour before you go to sleep, chewing them very well to allow your digestive body to absorb the natural moisture gradually as you wind down. This gentle hydration method may help make your daily visual comfort noticeably better by actively preventing morning dryness. One more easy change you can try is adjusting how you eat your fruit. 3. Pair your evening fruit with a few walnuts to ensure the eye vitamins are properly absorbed. Combining your chosen vision-supporting evening fruit with a high-quality, healthy fat ensures that the crucial, fat-soluble vitamins actually make it directly into your delicate eye tissues, rather than just passing uselessly and quickly through your digestive system. I remember a woman named Helen who was 74 years old, and she was diligently eating highly healthy fruits every single night, but still constantly complaining about worsening, frustrating eye strain and tired, incredibly heavy eyelids. Her primary mistake was eating these nutritious fruits completely on their own, meaning her aging body could not effectively absorb the vital, vision-supporting nutrients they naturally contained. We added just 3 simple walnut halves to her evening fruit routine to easily provide the necessary, high-quality, healthy fats for proper digestion. She very soon noticed that her eyes felt significantly less physically fatigued during her long, quiet afternoon reading sessions, and her overall visual stamina improved beautifully. Many of the absolute most important dietary nutrients for your long-term eye health, particularly those that protect the sensitive macula and actively support the health of the retina, are naturally fat-soluble. This biological fact means your digestive system strictly requires the physical presence of dietary fat to efficiently pull these nutrients out of the fruit and safely deliver them into your circulating bloodstream. If you eat a lovely bowl of fresh berries entirely on an empty stomach without any accompanying fats, you unfortunately miss out on a massive portion of the supportive, structural benefits your eyes desperately need. The healthy fats beautifully act like a gentle delivery vehicle, seamlessly transporting the supportive natural compounds directly to the tiny, fragile blood vessels located in the back of your eyes. The very next time you sit down to comfortably enjoy your evening blueberries or other vision-supporting fruit, simply place 2 or 3 whole, unsalted walnuts right next to your bowl. Eat a small walnut piece alongside a few bites of the fruit to easily activate the natural absorption process efficiently without making your stomach feel overly heavy or uncomfortable before sleep. This tiny addition to your routine can help support sharper, more resilient eyes without any extra effort. 4. Avoid eating high-sugar fruits like bananas or pineapples late at night. Keeping naturally high-sugar fruits completely out of your quiet evening routine powerfully prevents sudden, highly disruptive blood sugar spikes that can quietly but severely strain the delicate microblood vessels in your eyes while you are simply trying to rest. I remember a man named Thomas, who was 71 years old, and he absolutely loved eating a large, highly ripe banana right before getting into his bed, genuinely thinking it was a highly healthy, supportive habit for his aging body. He was constantly dealing with frustratingly blurry vision in the early mornings and a persistent feeling of physical pressure behind his eyes, totally unaware that the late-night fruit sugar spike was the hidden root culprit. We successfully swapped his nightly banana for a much smaller handful of simple, low-sugar berries instead to protect his evening digestion. His morning vision beautifully stabilized within days, and the heavy, tired feeling behind his eyes completely and comfortably faded away. The intricate, tiny blood vessels located in your eyes are some of the absolute smallest and most incredibly sensitive in your entire physical body, and they are highly, rapidly reactive to any sudden changes in your circulating blood sugar levels. When you eat a deeply sugary, sweet fruit late at night, your blood sugar very quickly rises and then rapidly drops, forcing these tiny, fragile ocular vessels to unnecessarily expand and contract unnaturally while you sleep. This totally invisible microvascular strain unfortunately leaves your eyes feeling deeply exhausted, noticeably puffy, and frustratingly blurry when you wake up, directly countering the natural, quiet healing process that should be happening overnight. Take a very close, honest look at your current evening snacking habits and identify any fruits that are overly sweet or tropical, such as large bananas, mangoes, ripe grapes, or pineapples. Shift these specific high-sugar fruits exclusively to your active breakfast or lunch hours when your body is moving and can process the natural sugars much more easily. For your peaceful pre-bedtime routine, strictly stick to low-sugar, supportive options like blueberries, blackberries, or cucumbers to ensure your blood sugar remains perfectly stable. Making this simple swap may help support clear, remarkably relaxed vision by protecting your eyes from unnecessary nighttime stress. 5. Drink a warm cup of infused goji berry water an hour before settling into bed. Gently steeping these specific, nutrient-dense berries creates a highly soothing, naturally hydrating evening drink that safely delivers highly targeted, macula-supporting antioxidants directly to your system exactly while your body actively prepares for a deep, restful night of physical recovery. I remember a woman named Patricia, who was 69 years old, and she was constantly battling a frustrating daily sense of visual fatigue and a dull, incredibly heavy ache behind her tired eyes every single evening. She was making the very common mistake of drinking a large, steaming mug of heavily caffeinated black tea right after her late dinner, which quietly but severely dehydrated her delicate eye tissues and made her nightly vision feel remarkably strained. We gently corrected this overlooked habit by switching her late evening beverage to a very simple, warm goji berry infusion instead, totally eliminating the disruptive, late-night caffeine from her routine. Within just a few short weeks of this simple change, her eyes felt beautifully refreshed each morning, and the persistent heavy ache that used to bother her completely and wonderfully disappeared. When you quietly soak dried, natural goji berries in a cup of comfortably warm water, the small fruit slowly and naturally releases its highly protective, vision-supporting compounds directly into the clear liquid, making it incredibly easy for your aging digestive system to quickly absorb the benefits without any heavy, uncomfortable physical processing. These specific gentle compounds are known to be highly supportive of the delicate macula, which is the tiny, incredibly important and highly sensitive center part of your retina that is entirely responsible for your sharpest, most detailed, and clearest central vision. As we gracefully age, the delicate macula naturally requires a highly steady, gentle, and reliable supply of these exact natural antioxidants to carefully maintain its vital structural integrity and effectively filter out the harsh, damaging artificial light we are constantly exposed to during our long waking hours. Drinking this simple infused water in the quiet evening ensures that these vital, supportive nutrients are quietly and efficiently circulating through your bloodstream exactly when your eyes are finally resting, beautifully allowing the fragile ocular tissues to easily utilize them for natural, necessary overnight maintenance and physical support. Preparing this gentle, highly supportive evening drink is incredibly simple, takes almost no effort in the kitchen, and can easily become a deeply relaxing, highly enjoyable part of your quiet nightly routine before sleep. Simply take about 1 tablespoon of dried, completely unsweetened natural goji berries and carefully place them at the very bottom of a standard, clean tea mug. Then gently pour comfortably warm, but absolutely not boiling, water directly over the dried fruit. Allow the small berries to steep quietly and undisturbed for about 10 to 15 full minutes until the warm water naturally turns a very pale, beautiful shade of light orange and the berries themselves look noticeably soft, hydrated, and plump. You can slowly and comfortably sip this warm, highly comforting liquid about a full hour before you actually plan to turn off your lights and go to sleep. And you can even gently eat the softened berries at the bottom of the cup if you wish to get the extra dietary fiber. This calming, quiet nightly routine can help support sharper, significantly more resilient central vision over time. 6. Create a 20-minute screen-free window immediately after eating your evening fruit, giving your aging eyes a highly dedicated, completely quiet physical break from harsh, unnatural digital light right after you eat your supportive evening snack beautifully allows your ocular muscles to physically relax, safely ensuring the consumed nutrients are immediately used for crucial overnight recovery rather than actively fighting immediate painful screen strain. I remember a man named David who was 66 years old, and he was completely and utterly frustrated by how his eyes constantly felt tight, painfully dry, and physically strained despite diligently eating a highly nutritious, vision-supporting diet every single day. He was unfortunately making the very common, totally invisible mistake of eating his healthy evening berries while actively staring closely at a bright, glaring tablet screen in a completely dark, quiet bedroom. We gently corrected this exact issue by simply asking him to physically put the digital tablet away in another room entirely and sit completely quietly for 20 full minutes while he slowly enjoyed his evening fruit. He quickly and happily noticed a massive, wonderful improvement in his overall daily visual comfort, and the frustrating, highly tight feeling around his eyes was remarkably reduced before he even fell asleep. When you actively stare at a bright television, a glowing cell phone, or a highly glaring computer screen late at night, your eyes are physically forced to actively process highly unnatural, artificial blue light that continuously stimulates, irritates, and severely strains your delicate, fragile retinal tissues. This continuous, heavy visual processing strictly requires a massive, unrelenting amount of physical energy and active, immediate nutrient consumption just to maintain your basic visual focus, meaning your eyes are constantly working heavy overtime instead of quietly preparing to rest and gracefully heal. If you eat your supportive, highly nutrient-rich evening fruit while simultaneously staring directly at a digital device, your body is instantly forced to use those fresh, valuable natural vitamins just to desperately combat the immediate, harsh glare of the bright screen in front of you. By simply and intentionally removing the artificial digital light source entirely, you wonderfully allow your entire visual system to fully power down, gracefully and naturally, ensuring that the vital nutrients you just consumed are properly stored and gently utilized for deep, restorative, and highly necessary overnight physical maintenance. To successfully implement this incredibly supportive, highly beneficial habit, you strictly need to establish a very clear, highly firm, physical boundary between your quiet nutritional routine and your usual digital entertainment habits late in the evening. Decide on a very specific quiet time when you will comfortably eat your chosen vision-supporting fruit, such as a small handful of fresh blueberries or a few hydrating cucumber slices, and commit to completely turning off your television, mobile phone, and digital tablet exactly at that exact moment. Sit comfortably and quietly in a dimly lit, highly relaxing room, perhaps with a very soft, warm reading lamp or gentle, low ambient lighting, and slowly eat your healthy snack while listening to calming music or simply enjoying the peaceful, quiet environment for 20 full minutes. This tiny, highly manageable shift in your daily evening schedule may help make your daily visual comfort noticeably better by actively and gracefully preventing completely unnecessary nighttime eye strain. 7. Eat half of a fresh, naturally ripe kiwi roughly an hour before you plan to sleep. Consuming this highly specific, incredibly nutrient-dense green fruit in the quiet evening gently provides your aging body with completely natural compounds that actively and safely support a much deeper, significantly more restorative sleep cycle, which is the exact, crucial time your eyes actually perform their most important physical repairs. I remember a man named William who was 73 years old, and he was struggling immensely and daily with heavily bloodshot, severely tired eyes that never actually seemed to clear up, regardless of how many expensive, soothing eye drops he desperately used during the afternoon. He was making the severe mistake of totally ignoring his highly fragmented, incredibly poor quality nightly sleep, incorrectly assuming his constantly tired eyes were just an inevitable, entirely unchangeable physical symptom of getting older and reading too much. We beautifully corrected this totally overlooked issue by having him simply eat half of a fresh sweet kiwi an hour before bed to naturally and gently support his sleep quality without ever relying on harsh, heavy artificial sleep aids. His nightly sleep quickly became significantly deeper and completely uninterrupted, and he happily woke up with eyes that looked remarkably clear, highly physically rested, and completely free of the frustrating constant redness. Your human eyes are incredibly active, highly complex organs that work absolutely tirelessly from the exact precise second you wake up in the morning until the very moment you finally close your heavy eyelids at night, constantly absorbing bright light, rapidly adjusting visual focus, and continuously communicating with your brain. Because of this massive, unrelenting, and highly continuous daily physical workload, the incredibly delicate tissues, microscopic internal muscles, and fragile microblood vessels in your eyes desperately rely on the deep, completely uninterrupted stages of your nightly sleep cycle to properly heal, effectively clear out cellular waste, and physically rebuild themselves. Kiwi fruit is highly and uniquely beneficial for this highly specific biological process because it naturally contains highly supportive compounds, including entirely natural serotonin, which gently and safely help your aging brain and physical body smoothly transition into a much deeper, significantly more restful state of physical sleep. When your overall nightly sleep quality beautifully improves, your eyes are finally granted the highly adequate, completely uninterrupted quiet time they strictly require to fully and properly absorb the helpful, vision-supporting nutrients you have carefully provided them throughout the long day. Incorporating this deeply supportive, highly delicious fruit into your quiet, nightly routine is wonderfully simple, entirely stress-free, and requires almost absolutely zero physical preparation or cooking time in your kitchen. Simply purchase a few fresh, slightly soft kiwis from your local grocery store and keep them comfortably sitting at normal room temperature until they yield very slightly to a gentle, soft press of your thumb. About 1 full hour before you are actually ready to get into your comfortable bed, carefully take one single kiwi, gently cut it perfectly in half with a small, safe kitchen knife, and use a standard, simple metal spoon to quietly scoop out the sweet, bright green flesh from just one of the halves. You can easily and safely save the other untouched half in your cold refrigerator for the very next evening, making this a highly simple, wonderfully sustainable, and surprisingly cost-effective daily habit to gently support your long-term eye health. This simple, highly natural bedtime addition may help support clear, remarkably relaxed vision by perfectly ensuring your eyes get the true deep physical rest they absolutely require. 8. Focus on the daily consistency of your evening fruit rather than eating a large amount. Providing your aging body with a very small, highly steady, and totally reliable supply of vision-supporting natural nutrients every single night is vastly more effective and far safer for your highly delicate eye tissues than occasionally eating massive, entirely overwhelming portions. I remember a woman named Margaret who was 67 years old, and she was desperately and constantly trying to improve her noticeably declining night vision and constant, incredibly frustrating daily eye fatigue by eating incredibly massive, huge bowls of mixed berries, but only doing so once or maybe twice a week. She was making the incredibly common, highly disruptive mistake of treating her healthy, natural nutrition like a sudden, heavy medical dose rather than a gentle, continuous, and soothing daily lifestyle habit, which unfortunately caused uncomfortable digestive upset and absolutely zero actual improvement in her daily vision. We gently and carefully corrected this flawed approach by having her simply eat just one single, extremely tiny handful of fresh blueberries every single night without fail, completely and forever eliminating the massive, highly infrequent, and heavy portions. She very soon found that her evening digestion was perfectly calm, and her eyes gradually but beautifully began to feel much stronger, physically rested, and significantly more comfortable in the low-light evenings. The highly complex, incredibly fragile biological structures located deep within your eyes, particularly the highly sensitive macula and the delicate vital optic nerve, simply do not possess the physical capacity to store massive, totally overflowing amounts of excess vitamins and natural antioxidants all at once. When you suddenly and rapidly consume a massive, huge bowl of highly nutritious fruit in one sitting, your aging digestive system simply absorbs what it can immediately and practically use in that exact specific moment, and the vast majority of the rest is quickly and unfortunately flushed out of your body as natural waste. However, when you carefully provide your body with a very small, highly modest, and perfectly manageable amount of these exact same vital nutrients every single evening, you beautifully create a highly steady, totally reliable, and continuous stream of gentle biological support in your circulating bloodstream. This highly consistent, totally reliable daily biological rhythm perfectly and seamlessly matches the slow, highly continuous natural rate at which your aging eyes actually perform their deeply necessary overnight cellular repairs and highly vital physical maintenance. To successfully build this incredibly crucial, highly supportive physical consistency, you strictly must actively shift your entire mental mindset away from constantly thinking about the total volume of food and instead focus entirely on the simple daily repetition of the quiet, highly soothing evening habit. Carefully choose the highly specific, perfectly low-sugar evening fruit that you genuinely and truly enjoy eating the most. Whether that is a small, easy handful of fresh blueberries, a few highly hydrating, cool cucumber slices, or exactly half of a sweet, ripe kiwi. Set a very gentle, completely quiet daily alarm on your bedside clock, or simply intentionally tie this highly supportive new nutritional habit to something you already do every single night without fail, like quietly washing your face or comfortably putting on your warm pajamas. Eat your very small, highly modest portion at the exact same predictable time every single evening, carefully and gently allowing your body to naturally expect and highly efficiently utilize this steady, gentle influx of vision-supporting nighttime nourishment. This highly reliable, wonderfully steady daily approach can help maintain your daily visual comfort and gracefully, beautifully support healthier eyes over time. If you know someone over 50 who could benefit from this, share this video and subscribe for more simple health tips.